Vietnam may be small, but it's packed with surprising and quirky experiences that will leave any traveler amazed. From bustling streets to unusual traditions, there's always something unexpected around every corner. In this video, we'll uncover 20 unique things about Vietnam that make it stand out from the rest of the world. Get ready to explore the fascinating and sometimes downright strange aspects of this incredible country. Vietnamese Traffic, the ultimate dance of chaos and honks. One of the first things that shocks travelers in Vietnam, especially in cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, is the sheer intensity of the traffic. Imagine endless streams of motorcycles, bicycles, cars, and pedestrians all squeezing into the same narrow roads. It's pure mayhem. What makes it even crazier is how traffic rules seem more like suggestions rather than laws. For many tourists, simply crossing the street feels like a daring adventure where the goal is to dodge a river of vehicles that rarely stop, even when they should. Incredibly, as of 2022, Vietnam boasted over 72 million registered motorcycles. This massive number makes two-wheelers the lifeblood of daily transportation here. The streets are constantly alive with movement, and the sound of honking becomes your steady companion. But unlike the aggressive honks you might expect in other countries, in Vietnam, honking serves as a friendly signal. Drivers are simply letting others know they're there. Believe it or not, amidst what seems like complete madness, there's a subtle rhythm and flow to the traffic. Locals navigate through it effortlessly, weaving through the chaos without a second thought. And remarkably, accidents are far fewer than one might imagine. Their adaptability and quick reflexes keep everything flowing, even when it seems impossible. Rustic tobacco smoking, the legacy of Thuoc Lao. For generations, Thuoc Lao, a powerful form of rustic tobacco, has been a deeply ingrained tradition in Vietnam, particularly in rural areas. Unlike regular cigarettes, this potent tobacco is smoked through a bamboo pipe, producing a deep and resonating sound as one inhales. The practice remains a significant part of Vietnamese culture, with almost every rural household keeping a bamboo pipe at hand, ready for this time-honored ritual. For many elderly people, smoking Thuoc Lao is more than a habit. It's a way to preserve a cultural legacy that has been passed down through generations. However, the first puff of Thuoc Lao is no joke. Its strength often leaves newcomers dizzy and lightheaded, with some even needing to sit down to recover. Despite its powerful effects, it continues to be a favored pastime, especially among older generations. Beyond the smoke itself, the act of gathering around a pipe of Thuoc Lao is a social experience, often paired with a cup of tea and shared stories. It's a way for people to bond, reflect, and connect over a tradition that remains a central part of rural life in Vietnam. Loud and lively funerals, a celebration of life. While funerals in many cultures are quiet, solemn affairs, in Vietnam, they are anything but. Vietnamese funerals can be loud, lively, and even joyful celebrations of life, mixing sorrow with music, singing, and sometimes even karaoke. The belief is that this noise helps send the deceased off on a joyous journey to the afterlife, while scaring away any evil spirits. In the northern regions, you might even witness professional mourners who are hired to wail and cry as a sign of deep respect and mourning. These funerals often last several days, with family and friends gathering to not only grieve, but also to eat, drink, and share stories about the deceased. The entire event can feel more like a festival than a somber occasion. For many foreigners, it can be surprising to witness such an energetic and colorful way of mourning, as it contrasts with the more subdued ceremonies they might be familiar with. But in Vietnam, the funeral is seen as a final chance to celebrate the person's life and ensure they are remembered with joy, not just sorrow. Navigating flooded streets, a mastery of everyday life. When the rainy season hits Vietnam, especially in bustling cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, streets often turn into rivers due to heavy downpours. Yet, what might seem like chaos to outsiders is handled with ease by locals. Motorcyclists, in particular, have developed impressive skills, gliding through flooded streets with their bikes as if it's just another day. For visitors, it's almost surreal to witness a street submerged in water, yet life carrying on without a hitch. The rainy season transforms many roads into temporary canals, and while pedestrians try to stick to higher sidewalks, even these become waterlogged. You might even spot locals using small boats to navigate heavily flooded areas, adding a quirky twist to the urban landscape. In rural areas, the sight of farmers calmly wading through fields drenched in knee-high water is common. Inexpensive tobacco, a smoker's dream. Vietnam is considered a paradise for smokers, thanks to its incredibly low tobacco prices. A pack of cigarettes costs less than $1, making it one of the most affordable places in the world for smokers. This is largely due to the country's low taxes on tobacco, a stark contrast to the heavy taxes found in countries like Australia or the UK. Smoking is widely accepted and common in Vietnam, with older generations being particularly fond of the habit. But it's not just cigarettes that are popular. In rural areas, you'll often see people smoking rustic tobacco out of bamboo pipes, a tradition that spans generations. Even younger people are known to partake, viewing smoking as a way to unwind and socialize. Tobacco's accessibility and low cost make it an ever-present part of daily life, and visitors will frequently find themselves surrounded by a smoky haze, whether at a cafe, market, or casual gathering. Regional cuisine, a journey through Vietnam's flavors. Vietnam's cuisine is celebrated globally for its fresh, bold ingredients, but many visitors are surprised by how much the flavors vary depending on the region. In the northern part of the country, where the climate is cooler, dishes tend to be more delicate, with an emphasis on herbs. For example, Hanoi's famous pho is served with a light, clear broth that reflects this subtle flavor palette. As you head toward central Vietnam, the food becomes spicier and more robust, particularly in Hue, where bun bo hue delivers a rich, fiery kick with its spicy beef noodle soup. Moving further south, the flavors become sweeter and more diverse, with the liberal use of coconut milk, sugar, and a wide array of spices. In Ho Chi Minh City, the tropical climate allows for an abundance of fresh produce, which is reflected in the richness of southern dishes. Whether you're indulging in a hearty bowl of pho in Hanoi, or savoring the sweetness of southern Vietnamese cuisine, each region offers its own unique culinary experience. A trip through Vietnam is truly a journey for the senses, making it an unforgettable destination for food enthusiasts. Sleeper buses. Comfort on a budget, but bring a blanket. Traveling through Vietnam on a budget? Sleeper buses are the way to go. These buses come equipped with reclined seats that allow passengers to lie down and sleep while traveling between cities. It's a convenient and cost-effective option, especially for long distances. However, one thing most travelers quickly learn is that these buses are kept extremely cold. The air conditioning runs full blast, so seasoned travelers pack warm clothes, jackets, blankets, even winter hats, to stay comfortable during the ride. Despite the chilly atmosphere, sleeper buses are an ideal way to travel across Vietnam without breaking the bank. They operate on popular routes, and for a fraction of the price of a plane ticket, you can get a decent night's sleep while moving from one city to another. Plus, you'll save on accommodation, making sleeper buses a favorite choice for budget-conscious adventurers. While it may not be a 5-star experience, it's an affordable and memorable way to explore the country. Haggling, the fun and essential art of negotiation. In Vietnam, haggling is a must if you want to get the best deals. Whether you're picking up souvenirs, booking a tour, or even grabbing a quick bite from a street vendor, negotiating is part of the experience. Prices are often quoted much higher for tourists, so learning to haggle can save you a lot of money and give you a chance to connect with locals. The trick to mastering haggling is to stay friendly yet firm. Start by offering about 30 to 50% less than the asking price and work your way up from there. The process of back-and-forth bargaining is expected, and shopkeepers won't be offended by your counteroffers. In fact, haggling is part of the local culture, and it's often done with a smile and good-natured banter. For visitors, This cultural exchange can be just as satisfying as landing a great deal. Pollution, a rising challenge in Vietnam's urban centers. As Vietnam's cities rapidly develop, the downside of progress has become more visible. Pollution is an increasing issue, particularly in urban areas like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. With millions of motorcycles on the road and inefficient waste disposal systems, the air quality can suffer significantly, and streets are often cluttered with plastic waste. Hanoi, in particular, frequently ranks among the most polluted cities in Southeast Asia. Plastic pollution is another major problem, with many locals discarding trash in rivers and lakes, leading to water contamination. Although efforts are underway to reduce plastic usage and promote eco-friendly practices, there's still a long way to go. For travelers, the pollution can be a stark contrast to Vietnam's stunning natural landscapes. It's advisable to take precautions, such as wearing masks in high-traffic areas and avoiding polluted waterways whenever possible. Terrifying foods, dishes that will test your courage. Vietnam's street food is world-renowned, but some of its more adventurous dishes can truly push the limits of even the most daring eaters. One such dish is the infamous coconut worms, a delicacy from the Mekong Delta. These wriggling larvae are often eaten alive, dipped in fish sauce, and prized for their chewy texture and rich flavor. While locals savor the experience, many tourists are unsettled by the sight of the worms still squirming on their plate. Another dish that can make visitors cringe is blood pudding, made from the fresh blood of ducks or pigs, mixed with herbs, and served as an appetizer. Although it has a surprisingly sweet taste, the thought of consuming raw blood is off-putting for many. And of course, there's the notorious balut, a fertilized duck egg eaten with the embryo still inside. While considered nutritious, the sight of the partially formed duckling can be overwhelming for foreigners. These daring dishes offer a fascinating insight into Vietnam's bold culinary traditions, though they might not be for the faint-hearted. Early school start times, mornings full of yawns and uniforms. In Vietnam, the school day begins earlier than in many other countries, with some elementary schools starting as early as 7:15 a.m., and high school students often heading to class by 6:45 a.m. This means Vietnamese children are up and about long before sunrise, leaving little time for leisurely mornings. By the time most tourists are sipping their first cup of coffee, local students are already well into their school day. Despite the early start, students don their uniforms and head to school, often appearing a bit drowsy as they begin their day. But the routine doesn't end with academics. Many schools incorporate morning exercises, with students participating in synchronized stretches and routines before hitting the books. This charming morning ritual is a staple of Vietnamese student life and adds a burst of energy to their early start, providing a glimpse into the country's disciplined education system. Pajamas as day wear, the perfect blend of fashion and comfort. In Vietnam, pajamas aren't just for sleeping. They're an everyday fashion choice. It's not unusual to see people walking around in bright, patterned pajamas adorned with floral designs or cartoon characters. Whether they're grocery shopping or running errands, locals embrace the comfort and practicality of sleepwear in public. The hot, tropical climate plays a big role in this trend, as pajamas, typically made of lightweight cotton, are perfect for staying cool and comfortable throughout the day. This trend spans generations, with both young and old sporting pajamas as casual wear. In rural areas, you'll often see people running their small businesses, or even selling food while dressed in their favorite PJs. For visitors, seeing pajamas outside the bedroom may come as a surprise, but it reflects Vietnam's relaxed and comfort-focused approach to daily life. Lunar New Year shutdown, the stillness of Tet. The Lunar New Year, or Tet Nguyen Dan, is Vietnam's most significant holiday, and when it arrives, the whole country essentially presses pause. Cities that are usually buzzing with life become ghost towns, as shops, businesses, and restaurants close down for the celebration. Locals leave the cities to return to their hometowns, making the normally busy streets feel oddly quiet. For travelers, visiting Vietnam during Tet can be both peaceful and a little surreal, as the vibrant daily hustle is replaced by a rare calm. Celebrated over several days, Tet is a time for families to reunite, clean their homes, prepare traditional foods, and honor their ancestors. While the streets might be deserted, the spirit of Tet is alive in every household, where people gather to celebrate, share meals, and exchange well wishes for a prosperous year ahead. For visitors, Tet offers a unique glimpse into Vietnam's deep-rooted cultural traditions, but it's important to plan ahead to avoid the quiet streets and closed establishments. Snake wine, a bold and adventurous drink. For those seeking a daring and unique experience in Vietnam, snake wine might just be the drink you're looking for. This traditional beverage is made by infusing rice wine with a whole snake, which is placed in the bottle while still alive. The snake curls up as it drowns in the alcohol, creating a striking and slightly eerie visual inside the bottle. Snake wine is believed to have medicinal benefits, such as boosting virility and alleviating joint pain, making it a popular remedy in Vietnamese folk medicine. While the sight of a coiled snake inside a bottle may be enough to make some people squirm, adventurous drinkers view it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to taste a piece of Vietnam's tradition. Typically consumed in small quantities, snake wine is often regarded as a warming tonic, especially useful in cold weather or after physical exertion. Though its health benefits are debated, the experience of trying snake wine is sure to be a memorable part of any trip to Vietnam. Napping culture, a well-earned midday break. In Vietnam, napping during the workday isn't just accepted, it's encouraged. After lunch, it's common for workers to take a short nap, sometimes even right at their desks or on a mat on the office floor. What might be seen as unprofessional in other countries is a normal part of daily life in Vietnam, where a quick rest is considered essential for maintaining energy throughout the day. Napping is especially important in Vietnam's hot and humid climate, where the midday heat can be draining. This tradition isn't unique to Vietnam. It's also common in countries like Spain and Italy, where siestas offer a similar midday break. In Vietnam, these naps are usually brief, just long enough to recharge and improve focus for the afternoon. For visitors, this relaxed approach to midday rest can be a refreshing change of pace and a great way to experience Vietnam's balanced work-life culture. Football frenzy, a nation of passionate fans. If you find yourself in Vietnam during a major soccer event, you'll witness firsthand the country's deep love for the sport. Whether it's the World Cup or a local regional tournament, the excitement is contagious. Fans deck themselves out in team jerseys, paint their faces, and gather in cafes, bars, or even on street corners to cheer on their team. Over the years, football's popularity has skyrocketed in Vietnam, with the national team's success fueling an immense sense of national pride. When Vietnam secures a big victory, the streets explode with joy. Fans take to the streets in droves, waving flags, honking horns, and chanting in celebration. One of the most thrilling traditions is Đi Bao, or victory parades, where hundreds of motorcycles flood the roads as fans come together to celebrate. Even if you're not a die-hard football fan, the energy is infectious, and being in Vietnam during such a moment feels truly special. It's a lively and unforgettable experience for any visitor. Mastering the chopsticks, a cultural connection. In Vietnam, chopsticks are much more than just a utensil. They are an essential part of the dining experience, used for everything from noodles to rice dishes. For visitors unfamiliar with chopsticks, mastering their use can take a bit of practice. But beyond the practical aspect, chopsticks hold a deep cultural significance in Vietnam, symbolizing care and respect, especially during shared meals. It's common for the host to serve food to guests using a separate pair of chopsticks, showcasing hospitality and thoughtfulness. However, chopsticks also come with important rules of etiquette. For example, pointing them at someone or sticking them upright in a bowl of rice is considered disrespectful, as it resembles incense offerings at funerals. For tourists, learning to use chopsticks correctly not only enhances the meal, but also deepens the appreciation for Vietnamese dining customs. It's a small, yet meaningful way to connect with the local culture. Suong Cave, a natural wonder of the world. Vietnam is home to one of the most awe-inspiring natural wonders on Earth, Suong Cave, the largest cave in the world. Located in Phong Nha, Ke Bang National Park, this massive cave system stretches over 5 miles long, 650 feet wide, and 500 feet tall. Its immense size is so extraordinary that it contains its own ecosystem, complete with a river, towering stalagmites, and a lush forest. For adventurers, trekking through Suong is an unparalleled experience. Exploring its colossal chambers, climbing formations that seem to touch the sky, and witnessing the untouched beauty of this subterranean world feels like stepping into another planet. Due to its fragile environment, only a limited number of guided tours are allowed each year, making Suong a coveted bucket list destination for explorers seeking a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Coffee culture, a brew like no other. As the second-largest coffee exporter in the world, Vietnam has developed a rich and unique coffee culture that's unlike anywhere else. Introduced by the French in the 19th century, coffee quickly became a beloved part of Vietnamese life. One of the most popular drinks is café sua da, which combines strong, bitter coffee with sweetened condensed milk and ice. The balance of bold flavors and creamy sweetness makes this iced coffee a favorite among locals and visitors alike. Another must-try is café trung, or egg coffee, a distinctly Vietnamese creation. Made by whisking egg yolk with sugar and adding it to hot coffee, the result is a rich, frothy beverage with a creamy texture that's both surprising and delightful. Whether you're sitting in a cozy cafe in the city or enjoying a roadside coffee stand, sipping coffee in Vietnam is more than just a caffeine fix. It's a cultural experience that reflects the country's love for innovation and tradition. Friendly locals, the heart and soul of Vietnam. While Vietnam offers breathtaking landscapes, rich culture, and unforgettable food, the true highlight for most visitors is the warmth and hospitality of its people. Wherever you travel in the country, you're greeted with smiles, kindness, and genuine offers of help. Whether it's a shopkeeper giving you directions or a passerby assisting you in a bustling city, the friendliness of the Vietnamese people creates a lasting impression. In rural areas, this hospitality is even more evident. It's not unusual for locals to invite travelers into their homes, eager to share a meal or a cup of tea, and introduce them to Vietnamese traditions. This sense of community and generosity is deeply rooted in the culture, where people take care of one another and are quick to offer a helping hand. For visitors, these heartfelt interactions often become the most cherished memories, fostering a deep connection with the country and its people. Vietnam is a land of contrasts, where ancient traditions meet vibrant modern life, and peculiar customs blend with stunning natural beauty. From the chaotic energy of the cities to the serene landscapes of rural areas, Vietnam captivates travelers with its unique blend of culture and adventure. The country's quirks, whether in its food, traffic, or daily habits, add to its charm, making it a one-of-a-kind destination. As you journey through Vietnam, it's often the unexpected moments that will leave the greatest impact, offering a glimpse into the heart of this extraordinary country.